Welcome to Talk Purpose and Truth, shifting you into higher consciousness. A show that elevates, uplifts, and encourages listeners to grow, heal, awaken, and evolve. Eden and Kim include bold topics, interviews with inspiring guests, experts, and celebrities, intuitive readings, channeled messages, mental health awareness, and hot topics to expand your awareness. Tune in for unprecedented truth, authenticity, on-purpose discussions, and magic.
This is exciting for me. I don't know if you guys remember me ever telling you on other episodes that I am a huge fan of General Hospital. But it's funny because when I first met this person, her name's Lilly Melgar, and she is an actress that was on that show. But I was someone referred her to me to have a reading. And when I met her, I didn't know who she was yet. And then I don't know, at some point during the session, I think I figured it out. And I was just like, oh my God, I have to act cool also. Anyways, but we get to be here with her, and there's so many other great things about her too that we will talk about. So, but one thing, I'm just going to kind of introduce her properly. So she's an Emmy-nominated actress and multi-Emmy winning owner of SBL Sent by Lilly Candles. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. But it says multi-winning, and then it turned into that. So that didn't sound right.
That's so weird. Yeah. Why?
Yeah. So she's multi-winning, Emmy-winning producer, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll talk more about that, but let's welcome Lilly.
Welcome, Lilly.
Hi.
Yeah, we didn't want to say too much in the beginning because we have so many deep questions for you. We thought we'd leave it to the questions to answer the rest of the bio, because you have done so many exciting things in your life and you're really amazing.
Oh, thank you. I want to interject really quickly because that's really funny. I did meet Eden on a FaceTime. She was the first medium I ever worked with. And it was a very intense session. Mm-hmm. And like an hour in, she goes, oh, "You're Lilly."
Oh my God.
I mean, an hour in, like after like tears, I'm swollen from crying, like super intense. And it was just like the greatest moment of relief, because it was so heavy that it was just like such a great comedic moment at the perfect right time.
Leave it to me.
I just had to share that story.
Yeah.
I started because I won a beauty pageant. I was Miss El Salvador in Los Angeles. And there was a filmmaker in the audience who was graduating from UCLA Film School. And he offered me to be the lead in his short film. And I literally was turning 16 3 days after I won this pageant. So at 16 years old, again, not knowing any better, I said yes. And we did it. And that film ended up winning the best film of that program that year at UCLA. So I got to see myself on the big screen for the first time at 16 years of age.
Wow.
And that's, I just like, I knew this is what I would love to get to do with my life. Right.
Yeah.
So, then that led to me standing in a line because I didn't know, nobody in my family had ever acted. So I stood in a line to try to get into the acting world. And I booked that and I was very blessed and booked a lot of stuff, but my career really took off I got my own show on Univision. I was a VJ on Univision and I got it at 19. And my second interview was Carlos Santana at his house in his backyard.
Wow.
Having tea with Carlos Santana, 19-year-old me interviewing him and him telling me about like his really, really out there cosmic beliefs. And I was just fascinated by this. I've always been into, spirituality and all of that. And nobody yet more interesting than him, I gotta say.
Wow.
So that was really cool. And as life would have it, a couple years into having the show, I have to fly to Puerto Rico to cover a weekend with Ricky Martin, and we become the best of friends. And then a few years later, we're both written into General Hospital as the first fully Latin couple in daytime history. So that's kind of how it all happened.
Wow.
But I always wanted to be on General Hospital. That was my dream. I used to tell my friends in junior high, you know, I'm going to grow up and be on General Hospital. And they'd be like, well, how do you do that? Like, I don't know, but I'm just going to do it. So,
Oh my.
That's cute. I used to play General Hospital with my one girlfriend, Denise, in my backyard. I was Laura and she was, what can I remember? Jackie Zeman. What's her name? Bobby. She was Bobby. And yeah, we would play on our big wheels, riding around like we were General Hospital stars. And yeah, yeah.
I always wanted to be Finola Hughes.
And
I wanted to marry Ian Buchanan, who's now a very good friend of mine.
He's so great. Oh,
I love him. Oh my God. Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was a couple.
That's so cool. It's cool to me. So you were on General Hospital for 9 years, right?
No, I was on for like 3 and then I came back.
Oh, you came back. That's why. Because it's in, you know, when we looked it up, it said 1994 to 2003. And I was like, wow, that's a long time. Okay.
Yeah. The last time that I was on there was in 2003.
Okay. And
I came back as a prostitute that got plastic surgery to look like Lilly to haunt Sunny.
Yes, I remember all that. I remember that. Okay. That's funny. So yeah, you played alongside Maurice Bernard, Sunny, which, you know, he's so iconic in the soap world. And do you have anything that you can share? Any stories that our audience would love to hear about your experience?
Well, I've told this story several times. So if people are watching and I have to hear it again, I apologize, but it's a great story. So I saw Maurice playing Desi Arnaz and I was mesmerized and I was glued to the TV, and my mom's like, hey, like snap out of it. And I turn around, I'm like, Mom, I'm going to work with this guy. And cut to my first day on General Hospital was half a day with Ricky, and it was like flashbacks of us. But my first real day was 5 scenes with Maurice Bernard. And I was like, wow, here I am. And at the end of that, him, Steve Burton, and Wally Kurth came knocking on my dressing room door to welcome me to the show. And they walked in and Maurice was just like, all right, talk to me. How do you know how to do those beats? Like, he was so impressed with my performance that day. And I was prepared for it my whole life. I was dreaming of this moment, right? Yeah. So I had a good day. I wasn't always good. And I'm like, what are beats? And he starts cracking up. He's like, you don't even know what beats are? I'm like, no, I was a host and I'm just now kind of learning how to act in front of everybody, you know, it was kind of crazy. So that was a really cool moment that they did that. They were very impressed with my work. And I can say that because cut 2 months later, he then comes up to me and goes, I want to talk to you about your work. And I'm like, yeah, why? Sometimes I'm really good and sometimes I'm really bad. He goes, oh, so you know. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I don't know what I'm doing. So that's when he took me under his wing. And he really has had such an impact in my growth as an actress and the way I approach it and how my respect for the craft. He really has had such an influence in my work. And, you know, till this day, he's one of my dearest friends. Yeah.
And he's very much about mental health. He's
yes.
Yeah. Because he struggles with his own mental health challenges.
Yeah, he's very passionate about it.
Yeah. That's what we're all about here. One quick other question about this, and then we'll move on. But I heard that you had a really crazy fan mail. Something came in the mail because GH fans are really passionate, and we all get like really there, because there's a fan line. You can actually call Kim. You can call there and you can complain if you don't like a storyline or something. Yeah.
That's awesome. I don't know
we-
if they had that when I was on there. Jeez.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes,
another
what'd
thing
you
Sean
get?
and I have in common is our characters weren't the most loved.
Yeah.
So of course, you know, I come on and I split up like General Hospital's favorite couple at the time.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that really quickest way to get hated. And I would get tons of fan mail at the time. It was what they referred to as the second golden era of soaps at that time. So it was a big, big deal to be on a soap. You were really treated like, I have some crazy fan stories, but the question is about the fan mail. So I open up my fan mail and I was like, ouch. And I'm like, ow. And I look in, it was this prickly little thing that literally poked me of a fan that hated me. And that was really mean.
Yeah.
God.
She wanted to hurt her, I guess, because
Yeah,
she
she did.
was coming between that couple
Yeah.
Wow.
and on the show. Yeah, it's crazy.
Did
Yeah.
you get people in public acting mean to you?
Did I? No. People weren't mean to me in public. Thank God.
Oh, good.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been horrible. No, I would just, no, you know, fans would be like, oh God, I hate you on General Hospital, but I love you in person. But you know, the funny thing, every time I met a man that watched General Hospital, he was a Lilly fan and not a Brenda fan. I found, first of all, I would be so shocked that a man watched a soap opera. Like that blew me away.
Mhm.
You know, straight men, you know, like really?
Yeah.
And they loved my character because she was just such like, I think such a devoted wife, you know, she didn't have the mouth I have on me.
Mm. Yeah.
So yeah, they loved her.
Wow. Okay. And then you also are, like you said earlier, you are producer and actor on Studio City.
I'm not a producer on Studio City. I'm an actress on Studio City. I came on season 2. So I shot that last year.
Okay.
It aired this year.
And it's on Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
Yeah, Amazon Prime.
Okay, I have it. I want to watch it.
Yeah.
Kids are half Latina, and both of my girls, and my daughter is an actress, and she has all these dreams of like getting more roles for Hispanic women, and you know, she's very empowered by that. And so I'm going to tell her to listen to this. And so we want to know more about working with Ricky. I know you worked for his Las Vegas residency, and you guys are really good friends. So tell us more about that.
Well, you know, it's been a crazy ride. I always feel like he's part of my soul family. If you guys ever talk about that on this show, I really do, because so many significant moments have been with him. First of all, you know, again, I met him when I had my show on Univision, and I got to be, my greatest dream in life up until that point was to be on General Hospital. I didn't even really connect that I wanted to be an actress, because my dream was to be on General Hospital. So, and then my other dream was to work with Maurice Bernard. So they both happened in the same thing, right? The same manifestation. I got to be on it because I went to my friend's concert. And of course, when I would go to my friend's concert, I go backstage. And there was Wendy Rich, who saw me, and that was it. Next thing I know, I'm being written and I'm living my dream. So it was a big deal for us because Maurice and Vanessa were Latin. I don't know if Vanessa's 100% Latina, but I know she's at least half Latina. But Maurice is 100%, but they didn't play Hispanic characters. And both Ricky and I are 100% Latinos, and we played Latino characters. So it was the first time in the history of soaps where there was a Latino storyline that were 2 characters in the leading forefront. And that obviously opened a lot of doors for other actors. So I always feel like we were used as vessels in a very important way. I'm so proud of that and so grateful for that. And then my career kind of went to directing video content for major concert tours. And we meet yet again, and I got to direct him for his opening video of his All In Vegas residency. I was part of the directing team. So we did the opening video. We did another video where we shot him, and we did all the video content, which is what you see on the screens. So that was a really cool moment when it's him and I'm directing him, and what a full circle kind of moment, but yet evolved in a different way. And because of the trust that we have in each other, it was a very, very special creative moment. And I was going to say, this is what I was going to say. And while I was doing this, I get an offer for a role in a film about human trafficking, and Ricky has a human trafficking foundation. And so I had to direct 2 days for the All In Vegas residency. And so this is a Saturday, and this Saturday is when we have Ricky on set and we're shooting all of his stuff. And in a break, I said, not now, because I don't want to shift our focus, but at some point I really need your help because I'm playing a madam. And my approach, everybody works differently, but how I approach my characters is I always find my personal connection as to bringing the most truth of Lilly into it, how I would be under those circumstances. So as an actor, you cannot judge your characters. And I'm like, I hate her. Like, I despise these women. I have a 17-year-old daughter, and like, this is the most despicable human being I could play. And he holds me and he looks into my eyes and he's like, you have to play her. You have to tell her story because she exists and somebody has to tell their story. And he said, at the end of this, call me. We've interviewed these women. I can give you some insight as to how they got there, why they do what they do, why they are the way they are. So at the very end of it, we were exhausted. I was exhausted. 2 days of shooting. I have to be up in the morning shooting as an actress, right? Take that cap off and put the other one on. And I call him and I said, look, this is what I can connect to. I feel like she's feeling this, and this is what's happening, and this is why she's doing what she's doing. And he says to me, you don't need me. You got it. Go kick ass tomorrow. Go tell her story. I arrived to the set, which was a house in Hollywood, and they hadn't opened the door. So I sat outside on the steps. As soon as I sit down, a neighbor starts blasting a Ricky Martin song.
Oh,
Wow.
oh, so symbolic.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm like, but of course. So I just felt like, you know what? All of the nerves of like, I hadn't had time to prepare for this character. It all went away. It was like, you know what? I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And to this day, it's one of my best acting performances ever.
Wow. And it's one thing I heard in all that is that, for you to calm down when you heard that song, he must be so comforting to you.
He is. Yeah, he really is. Just, and I always tell him this. I always say part of why you have such access to people on a mass amount is because of the warmth of your voice. There's a warmth to his voice that feels good. It makes you feel good. Add to that, his charisma and his heart and his spirit and just such a lovely human being. But when you just listen to his voice, that warmth, and then I get to experience that as my friend. So yeah, it's like, I'm good.
Wow. Yeah.
To me, it was a spiritual confirmation that I was
for sure.
Oh, totally. And so brave that you did do the role, you know, because it is hard to play someone so exactly opposite who you are, you know? So, wow.
Yeah. And that's a similar topic was Anne Heche's last movie on Lifetime. She played a mother of her daughter was being used as a human trafficker. So yeah, that was a big controversy. That movie.
Oh, yes, I know about this.
Yeah.
I actually, just heard about all of this. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. That's a whole other story. But
and not to go on about trafficking, but just quickly, like I talked to someone recently with a nonprofit, and I'm in Orange County in Huntington Beach, and it's like this cute beach city. And she goes, you know, it's really not talked about. She has a trafficking, human trafficking nonprofit. And she said, these beach cities like San Diego and Orange County beaches are in the top 5 of how many kids are sex trafficked. And I'm like, no one ever says anything around here. And so I was grateful, though. I mean, it feels disgusting and it needs to be talked about more, but I was grateful because it makes me even more careful with my girls. Like, nope, you're 16, but you still can't walk anywhere by yourself. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. They just released a video. I don't know if you saw this, but what they're doing now, they have some sort of gadget that can get your cell phone to stop working.
Oh my gosh.
So you can't call or text. Nothing.
Oh my gosh.
So this happened at a Trader Joe's. She was walking to her car.
Oh gosh.
Yes. So, I shared it with my daughter, with my nieces, like, you have got to be so present.
Yeah.
And, today humanity's like this. Life like that, it's so, yeah. You have to be aware of your surroundings, and it's so sad. I remember when I was growing up, I would walk to school and walk home from school, not a second thought. My daughter, all 3 of her schools have been so close. I never let her walk.
Right.
Never. So sad that that's our reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So different than how we grew up.
Yep.
Okay. Well, on a lighter note here, I just want to also acknowledge. So as far as the directing those videos, you also did it for, I think it was Madonna, Spice Girls, and who was the other one?
Britney Spears.
Britney. Yes, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it really, really is. Those were such cool videos. Oh my God. I loved the Britney Spears project. We shot, it was the first time, I believe it was the first time that any concert had ever had like a little storyline that was a through storyline told through the screen. And why it was really a big risk we were taking was because, think about it, when you could go to a concert, you're not going to watch TV.
Yeah.
You're not going for that reason. You're going for the music, the artists, the dancers, the action on stage. So here we are expecting thousands of people to watch the screen. Sure, you can get that at the beginning. We did the same thing with the Spice Girls. The opening video is what I got to direct. And that was my directorial debut in this world. And sure, people will stop, they'll watch, and then you're on for the ride. But to put it throughout the concert and expect everybody to stop and watch. So it was really scary, but we got the most amazing review from the LA Times, and some other critics loved the the short films we played throughout, and the audience loved it too. So that was really a special one. It was very cool.
That's cool. And now it's
I used a soap actor, Eden, Rudolph Martin. I hired him to play my villain.
Wait, why don't I know that one? Who's he?
I think
What
he
show?
was on All My Children.
So I should know that.
Yeah.
But what did he play? Do you remember?
Oh, no.
I'll look it up.
I think it was All My Children, if I'm not mistaken. Because I knew him from soaps. I was always an ABC girl growing up. I watched all ABC soaps.
Me too.
But we have the same birthday, and he was so much fun to work with. And funny enough, he's a very serious actor, and he would go into the set and he would just start familiarizing himself with his world, and he would get into his character, and I would get the DP to start shooting him just in this world. And so much of that ended up in my edits because I found that to be the most interesting, just the human behavior. It was just so cool. But anyway,
that's awesome.
That's just talking shop.
Yeah. It's fun to hear.
Yeah, it is. It's like you're telling us the secrets the way people think, and we didn't know that,
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So, and what did you win Emmys for producing?
On the Bay, the series.
Oh, okay. Because we had Devin on our show before too.
Oh, yay. Yeah. Yeah. We were.
And Ron came with her. We were doing it in studio, but he wasn't on the show. It was just Devin.
Yeah. They're such beautiful people too.
Yeah. So I heard in another interview talking about how you were gifted a session with a world-renowned medium, and you'll have to say her name. I can't remember what it was, but and then you talked about how grief and mediumship was really, really helpful with grief. And can you tell us more?
Yeah.
On that experience?
So again, you divergenized me.
Yeah.
You were the first medium I ever had a session with, and did not know I would ever need another one, right?
Right.
Just a really tough year. So I had a session with you after I lost my husband, speaking of, mental health.
Yeah. If you want to share some of that, you can as well.
So, yeah, we lost him 9 months after the divorce. And I had a session with you. And the first thing you said to me was, he's showing me lilies and roses.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, whoa, because 2 reasons. My married name was Lily Monterosa, the rose.
Uh-huh.
So when he asked for my hand in marriage to my parents, he took my mom a bouquet of lilies and roses.
Mm-hmm.
To make me a Lily Monterosa.
Mm.
So needless to say, it was a very, very intense session with you, as you know.
Yeah.
And then months later, I lost my father. So a beautiful, beautiful man who's the owner of the company that my mom is like at the highest position. Talk about manifesting queen. This woman has done everything they told her that was impossible to do. She's done it. So of course he loves her. His name is Ray Chambers, and he's just an amazing human being. And he gifted us as a family a session with Laura Lynn Jackson, who, funny enough, a year before that, literally a year before that, I had seen her on Goop, the Goop series on Netflix. And I had the thought, God, I would love to have a session with her. And this was January 2019. And I literally said, well, it's not like I need a session with her. There's nobody on the other side I need to talk to. January 2020, Ray Chambers is gifting us a session with Laura Lynn Jackson. So another trippy manifestation, right? And
Yep.
We're a very tight-knit family, and we just could not imagine life without dad, you know, and my mom was with him for 50 years. It's like losing a limb.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was brutal. And, you know, we gratefully, we were with him as he transitioned. But at the same time, that's really hard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you're left with having to see
Mm-hmm.
on so many levels just how fragile life is. And then the strongest man that you know, your first love, the one man that you know loves you unconditionally and will never leave you and accepts you just as you are. You have to watch him take his last breath of life. It's very traumatic.
Yep.
And beautiful because we were there. You didn't have to do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really, really hard. And my dad, he worked out every day of his life except Sundays. So committed and disciplined to his fitness. He got to be, you know, 76. And you know how you start getting older, you start getting a little hunchback. You know, my dad still had his posture because he worked out, and he was the most amazing salsa dancer I've ever known, and just never lost his childlike spirit. And we didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
There's no way of preparing for leukemia.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even genetic. So we just weren't prepared. And to feel like he fought, he really did, you know, he fought. So there was that. There was the unfairness of how this disease just took this vibrant, energetic, beautiful man out like that, and to watch him wither away. And your strong dad, you know, now he's bones. And he was so funny. And his last week of life in the hospital, like it was just so traumatic to see that he no longer had enough strength to push himself up. And I can't explain it. You're just like, it's so shocking to the system.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of him feeling bad for himself, he would look at me and go, tell her how I worked out every day. Tell her how strong I was. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, that's what mattered to him in that moment, right? And all of the doctors said that they had never had a patient who was that sick who would ask them how they were doing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And when we would walk through, the way he would light up, like ear to ear smile, and just light beaming through his eyes, like he would just light up. And it's like, I always say he taught me more in how to leave than how to live, even though he taught me so much in how to live. But it was so impactful to see the grace and the joy he left. He exited with a smile on his face, you know, to the very last moment. Wow. So why I'm saying all of this is that we were in a very, very dark place as a family, in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And thinking like how so unfair that he wasn't able to beat it. Why? Mm-hmm. Why couldn't he beat it? He gave it his all. And just all of those things that you think and feel that keep you up at night, you know?
Yeah.
Literally keep you up at night. Mm-hmm. This session, first of all, her accuracy is a phenomenon. Like, they have studied her brain science has studied her brain because they want to see what it does when it's making contact with the other side, because science has deemed her legit. That's how good she is.
Mhm.
And funny enough, the brain is, it reads as if it's in a coma when she makes contact. So I found that very interesting. So getting back to the point, literally the session began with, okay, he just came in. It's like he's got a boombox and music and he's dancing. Okay. My dad danced his whole life. Even when he was sick, he was still dancing. Then she's like, okay, first thing he's saying is that he's so sorry, Lillian, my mom, he just missed your birthday. You had a birthday and was it, there's a 3 in November, November 3rd. What the heck, right?
Wow.
Okay, now he's saying that he missed another one of his girl's birthday. Another one, Lorena, my sister. Did you just have a birthday? He's showing me the number 3 again, January 3rd.
Oh.
And then I think he's going to say, and there's another 3 because I'm July 30th. But no, she says, and Lily, he doesn't want you to feel left out. He's showing me that she starts laughing. She goes, he's showing me that you both have the same birthday month. And he's showing me that you're a Leo. So you guys both had the same a birthday in July. And I'm like, yes. She's like, yes,
Aww.
he's showing me this.
Amazing.
So then 3 granddaughters. They're 6 weeks apart. Look, this is how it began. My point is, with this kind of accuracy, my brother-in-law, who did not believe, was a grown man bawling his eyes out by now, because this is like not 5 minutes in, and there's just no way that you can explain this.
Thank you for listening to Talk Purpose and Truth podcast. Find out more at talkpurposeandtruth.com. And follow us at Talk Purpose Truth on Instagram and Facebook.